Hello dear students, welcome back to my class. Now we will start second chapter of biology, biological classification. Since the beginning of civilization, there have been many attempts to classify the living organisms. In first chapter also, we have discussed about the attempts to classify the living organisms. Why? Because there are millions of living organisms found on the earth. So to study them individually will be very difficult task. It will be an impossible task. That's why there is a need of biological classification. See, biological classification is the scientific procedure of arranging organisms in a hierarchical series of groups and subgroups on the basis of their similarities and their dissimilarities. What is meant by biological classification? It is the scientific procedure of arranging organisms in a hierarchical series of groups and subgroups on the basis of their similarities as well as dissimilarities. Why there is need of classification? See, there have been many attempts to classify living organisms since ancient times. See, Aristotle was the one, he was the earliest to attempt a scientific basis of classification. Aristotle was the first scientist to attempt a scientific basis of classification. He used simple morphological characters. Now, what is meant by morphological characters? Morphological are the external characters which are visible to us. For example, he classified plants as trees, shrubs, and herbs. Just by observing the external characteristic of plants, we can easily identify which one is trees. Generally, trees are taller, shrubs have medium height, and herbs have short height. Even we can see the difference in their types of leaves. So all these are morphological characters. Morphological means external characters. For example, types of leaves, branches, venation on the leaves, etc. So these are the morphological characters. So he used such simple characters to classify plants into three categories. Aristotle classified plant into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also classified the animals into two groups. These two groups were Enaima, that is with red blood cells or RBCs, and Anaima, that is without red blood. You know that our blood is red in color. Why? Because there is a pigment known as hemoglobin which gives red color to our blood. Well, in case of arthropods or insects, their blood is not red in color because it contains copper pigment, hemocyanin. So, Aristotle classified animals into only two groups. First group was Enaima, that is the animals with red colored blood, and Anaima means the animals without red colored blood. There is a need for proper system of classification. It was always felt by the scientists because this classification was not sufficient. We can't keep all the red-blooded animals in the same group. So a need for proper system of classification was always felt by the scientists. Living organisms need to be classified because of the following reasons. Why there is a need to classify the living organisms? Because first, the study of one or two organisms is not sufficient to know the essential features of the group. Second is all kinds of organisms do not occur in one locality. So there is need of classification because all kinds of organisms do not occur in the one locality. The classification helps in knowing the relationship amongst different groups of organisms. Classification also helps in knowing the evolutionary relationships between the organisms. How the organisms have been evolved. We can come to know it by studying about the classification. Now, what are the different types of classification system? Depending upon the types of systems of classification, organisms are classified into following systems. First is two kingdom system of classification, and second is five kingdom system of classification. Let us study first about the two kingdom system of classification. The scientist Carolus Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomical system or the father of taxonomy. So the scientist Linnaeus divided all the living organisms into two kingdoms in the year 1758. So these two main kingdoms are Plantae and Animalia. So this is the two kingdom system of classification. Kingdom Plantae including algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophyta, pteridophyta and spermatophyta. While kingdom Animalia included Coelenterata, Porifera, Platyhelminths, Mollusca, Nemathelminths, Annelida, Echinodermata and Chordata. So this is the two kingdom system of classification which included only two main kingdoms, plants and animals. Now there were objections against the two kingdom system of classification. The two kingdom system of classification, it was accepted for a long time. However, some difficulties arised from this classification as several new living organisms have been discovered. Some of these difficulties are: first difficulty is the first formed organisms were neither plants nor animals. For example, amoeba, paramecium, different kinds of protozoans. They were neither plants nor animals. So we can't place them into either plants or animals. Then fungi. They do not show similarity with structure, physiology and reproductive system of plants. So fungi can't be included in the group plants. Why? Because they do not show any similarity with the structure or physiology and reproductive system of the plants. Next is, it is not easy to recognize the lower organisms as plants or animals. Just now I told you, for example, Euglena. It has mixotropic, that is dual mode of nutrition, while sponges are fixed, branched and irregular creatures like plants. Now you know that all the plants are autotrophic and animals are heterotrophic. Plants are autotrophic, that means they can prepare their own food, while animals are heterotrophic, means they are dependent on plants for their food. Euglena. Euglena has been placed in the plant kingdom, but it's mixotropic, means it has dual type of nutrition. Generally, animals show locomotion. Sponges are included in animals, but these sponges are fixed. They are branched and irregular creatures like plants. So this type of classification was not sufficient. Next is slime molds. Slime molds is a group of fungi. These are wall-less in vegetative phase. They do not have wall, they do not have the cell wall. And the main characteristic of the plants is they have the cell wall. So these slime molds cannot be placed in the group plants. Why? Because these are wall-less in the vegetative phase, means when they are not reproductive. But once they enter the reproductive phase, they develop the cell wall. So slime molds can neither be placed in fungi nor in the plants. Next, lichens are formed by the symbiotic association of an alga and a fungus. They neither resemble plants nor animals. You have studied in 9th standard about lichens. Lichens are the symbiotic. Symbiotic means beneficial to both the partners. So they are formed by the symbiotic, that is beneficial to the both partners association of alga and fungi. Alga and fungi both help each other. So it is an example of symbiotic association. So these lichens neither resemble plants nor the animals. Prokaryotes do not have an organized nucleus. They have single envelope organization. There is absence of spindle apparatus. They do not show meiosis and sexual reproduction. While eukaryotes have a well-defined nucleus, they have a double envelope organism. organization, spindle apparatus, meiosis, and sexual type of reproduction. So we can't keep prokaryotes and eukaryotes in the same groups. This should be placed in the different groups only. The viruses have no protoplasm and metabolic machinery of their own. So all of these cannot be placed in a single group. Unicellular alga like diatoms, euglenids, dinoflagellates and protozoa, they resemble each other. So the Phi Kingdom system of classification was developed by the scientist R. H. Whittaker in 1969. Before 1969, the classification systems for the living organisms have undergone several changes over time. The scientist Robert Whittaker, he created fungi as separate kingdom. Just now we have discussed that fungi do not show any kind of similarity with the plants. So the scientist Robert Whittaker, he created fungi as a separate kingdom. The main criteria for classification used by Whittaker were cell structure, modes of nutrition, whether it is autotrophic, heterotrophic or saprophytic. Then thallus organization, that is the structure of the body. Reproduction, whether it is sexually reproducing or asexually reproducing. Phylogenetic relationships, means their relationships among each other. So these were the main criteria for the Phi Kingdom classification. Here we can see the distinguishing features of the Phi Kingdoms of life. First is Monera. It has prokaryotic type of cell. Nuclear envelope is absent. The cell wall is non-cellulose type. It may be autotroph or heterotroph. It is unicellular. Protista. These are eukaryotic. Nuclear envelope is present. Some cell wall may be present in some forms. It is either photosynthetic or heterotroph. The multicellularity is absent in most forms. Third is fungi. These are eukaryotic. Nuclear envelope is present. The cell wall is made up of a substance called as chitin. The mode of nutrition is assorptive heterotroph. It derives the nutrition from the dead and decaying material. Mostly it is multicellular. Kingdom Plantae. Most it is eukaryotic. Nuclear envelope is present. The cell wall is made up of cellulose and polysaccharides. It is photosynthetic. It's multicellular in all forms of the life. Fifth kingdom is Animalia. It is eukaryotic. Nuclear envelope is present. Cell wall is absent. It is the distinguishing features of the Animalia. They lack the cell wall, or cell wall is absent in them. The mode of nutrition is ingestive heterotroph. They get their food material with the help of their mouth, and it is digested with the help of the alimentary canal. These are multicellular in all forms of their life. So this was about the two kingdom system of classification as well as the introduction to the Phi Kingdom system of classification. In next video, we will discuss about the Phi Kingdom system of classification. Thank you.